Okay, there you go.
We've cut this off, so what we're doing now is I want to expose the inside of the rope. There we are, that blue part. That's what we want, so we want to shorten that. And now we want to feed over the outside cover of the rope over that blue portion so that we actually have a hollow inside over there. Then we put the nail inside, and now we're going to melt it on around the nail so that the nail actually becomes like a needle for this rope.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, you can go.
Now we're going to use the pencil torch and we just melt that thing on there. Be careful not to heat it too much, because you've got to press it with your fingers to get it to be very tight around that nail. And if you heat it too much, you're going to get yourself burnt and blisters on your hands. A small practical problem that we have is that these little ends will tend to hook inside the material that we're going to use on the rope. And so I'm going to use epoxy glue and put it around the nail over those surfaces, and when it's hard then I'll work it down so that it gives a smooth surface that can facilitate the feeding of this through the markers that we're going to put on the rope. There we have the two bits of epoxy that are going to get mixed, and then I'll apply that to the nail. Right, so this has got a set which takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I can smooth it so that we can actually proceed with putting the markers on the rope. To push this nail through, we try to find the center as accurately as we can without having to do a lot of measurement. Then I put it down like that, and I push, keeping this as parallel to the two sides as I can. Then I turn that 90 degrees and push a little bit further, and turn it back again and push it, and turn it this way, and push it, turn it back again and push, and then it comes out the other side. Now that's not all that center, so we just want to realign the thing slightly, and there we are. So we've got the nail in that far. Now I'm going to take it with the vice grip. Just let me tighten the vice grip a little bit. There we are, and now I pull it through and we get the rope, and there we are. The rope has come all the way through, and we're just going to repeat this process for all the bits that we are going to put, and there are going to be the yellow ones on this particular rope, there will be in the vicinity of 50 of them, and there will be at least 10 of the red ones for the section between the attachment on the side of the pool and where your flags, your 5-meter flags normally are. It turns out that there is a challenge using only a cable tie, and it's illustrated in this way. If I pull the rope in, you can see it actually goes into the float that's being used. So the idea is to rather use something that will give a large surface to protect that thing. Right, to solve the problem, we here have a washer, which is a galvanized washer in this case. Can be any other washer, but the size is important because that won't go in easily. So we put a cable tie on. And there you are. The cable tie cannot go inside, and it solves the problem of a cable tie pulling into the float.
Let's take a look at the final product, the final lane rope. This is the one end. This is a snap hook, a 4-inch snap hook. And this one is permanently attached in this fashion. So you'll see we've got the cable tie over here and the snap hook fixed. And this is the way it's going to be forever until the rope is not usable anymore. So this is what you have. And it works just fine. So we've tested the rope the other day. In the process of making the rope, it's a good idea to tie the one end to a post of some kind and stretch the rope while you add the floats to the rope. The rope will still stretch a little when you put the rope in the water and tie the other end to the wall. It's unfortunate, it does stretch. So with this particular DIY lane rope, it's not going to be like the more expensive ones where you have a set length and it'll always stay that, because those ones are steel and they've got a wire inside. This one will stretch. It is not 100% accurate. I'll explain the markers to you now. That's on the lane rope. It will vary with a few inches here, a few centimeters there, because it's a rope. But this one I'm pretty happy with. So the place that I coach at, it's a public pool. We do not have the funds to buy expensive lane ropes. And even if we could, it's a public pool, so we can't leave lane ropes in the pool on a permanent basis. We have to take them out and put them in before and after each session. So the more expensive and permanent lane ropes that's got all the wave, anti-wave technology and everything in them, even if we could afford them, it's not viable in the way that we coach and the way that things run at that specific pool. And that's why we made our own one. We only have this one. It's a 50-meter lane rope. It fits the Olympic, standard size Olympic pools 100%. As you will see in a clip just right after this, I made a little video of the lane rope in the pool. That is a 50 by 25 meter 9-lane Olympic standard pool. So it works perfectly. Okay. So about the floats that's on it, as I've shown you in the materials, and all this details should be in the materials clip earlier in the video, we have red floats, which is just the pool noodles cut up, but the red floats are spaced so that they end at the 5-meter mark on each side of the lane rope. And that is supposed to be the marker for the flags as well, so that the swimmers know when they have to start counting their arms for backstroke, when, you know, to know how far they are from the wall. we can't use flags at the pool where I'm at for various reasons, but it won't work. So we decided to mark the lane rope very thoroughly using the red floats so the swimmers can know when to start counting, how far they're from the wall, and they can still practice those things even though we don't have flags. All of the float pieces are 10 centimeter pieces. So we cut up the noodles into 10 centimeter pieces, and all of the floats, all of the colors on the lane rope, they're all 10 centimeter pieces. And then we have 20 red pieces, so 10 red pieces on the left end and 10 red pieces on the right end of the lane rope. And they are spaced 50 centimeters apart, the red ones. And in the way that we did it, they end at the 5 meter mark from each end of the rope. So inward from the snap hook, inward 5 meters, and that's on both sides of the rope. Then we have 30 green ones, because the reason for the green ones, we would have used green and yellow, but we could not buy enough yellow noodles. They didn't have enough, so we bought green ones as well. That's why there's green and yellow. So we used 30 green ones in total, and then we used 38 yellow ones. So you'll see, if you look at the complete picture of the lane rope, you'll see it's the red floats, and then we have red and green that alternate. And the red and green that alternate, they are 60 centimeters apart, because we couldn't fit them all. Well, we didn't have enough floats to keep 50 centimeters spacing all the way through. So when we started with the yellow and red, after yellow and green, we started alternating them and spacing them 60 centimeters apart. And then in the middle of the lane rope, we used the remaining 8 floats, yellow ones, and those are again spaced 50 centimeters apart. Then finally we joined the ropes, the 2 ropes. So they are, as you've seen in the material section, we used 2 30-meter pieces of rope because that was the longest pieces of rope we could find in the hardware store. So we bought 2 of those and we joined them in the middle just with a very solid knot. So we just knotted the 2 ropes in the middle. We were considering quite a few methods of joining the rope, and eventually we just ended up with, let's just not make this complicated. And we just knotted that. So there's just a sturdy knot in the middle with the 2 ropes joining. And I can't show you the entire lane rope now. It's not heavy. This is a light rope. It's really nice. Even with the washers, even if the washers are metal washers like this one, it's still light. It's very easy to put in the pool and take out of the pool. I think if you don't want a crow's nest, if you don't want to make a mess of the lane rope, you need 2 people. We feed the rope into the pool from a bag, just a mesh bag. So we've got it in there, then I hook this end, the permanent snap hook, I hook this one to the wall, and then we feed the rope across the pool to the other end. What we've done on the other end, we didn't fix the snap hook like this. So the other end is at the bottom of the bag now, so I'm not going to take it out. But we left it not permanently fixed like this. What I did was I just fed the end of the rope, I put one of these into that little hook that they've got that's permanently attached to the pool wall. I put one of these in there, and then I fed the other end of the rope through it. We made a knot and pulled it tight because we had to pull it tight after feeding it out of the bag into the pool. Pulled it tight, knotted it into this, the one that I've attached to the wall, and just knotted it. And then after the session, I unclasped the other one from the wall and left that knot in place. So it's knotted to the other snap hook, but not fixed with a cable tie like this one. And then off, because now we know how long it should be and it's the right length and everything. So I just unhooked it, and then we fed it back into the bag from that end. So we don't have a crow's nest problem. And it was just the 2 of us. myself and my dad, and it works just well. It works perfectly fine. So if you have that situation going on, then I think you'd be able to manage it for sure. And then this is just a little, this is how it looks with the washer and the cable tie, and then just fastened on the other end as well. Sorry, the lighting is particularly not great right now. So all of them look like this, and it just keeps on going, and you know, keeps on going and keeps on going. All right, so I hope you guys make your own lane ropes, and your comment in the comment section if any of you that watch this video, if you're swim coaches or somebody that's going to make a lane rope, and once you've made it, a comment in the section, tell me if you've changed anything about your rope and how it works for you.